No, I got bank balances, then extra.
Okay.
Make a motion.
Second.
We got a motion and a second over here. John, Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now, statement of revenue and expenditures.
I'll make the motion.
Second. All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now we need to discuss the Boot Hill Regional invoice. In years past, I would definitely say on this one that, I was ready to stop it. I did go to their meeting last week, and Melissa Combs and I were both there. It was entertaining, to say the least, and to see some of the process on how they pick different projects. They have streamlined a couple of things. I did not make it to a meeting. I would like to check to see who all within our area actually uses under our license. Would you have known, Ms. Melissa, is the,
Like under your dues?
under our dues, is that under, does the county use that as well, or do they have something different,
The
just
county.
CLGAW and us, or?
The county pays dues separately,
Okay,
and then the commission attends. I attend as a member of the transportation committee representing Kennett. So just Kennett is a participant, and CLGW has participated under Kennett as well.
okay.
And the previous economic developer attended their board meetings for Kennett.
So,
How much is the due?
the dues went up. They haven't sent me a list of why it jumped so much.
What is the jump?
Yeah, they still haven't returned the phone calls. That's why, this one here, I would like to put off to the next one, but before we approve it, because
We only approved $3,500.
$3,500. Whenever I talked with Mr. Luke, he said that the reason ours was because our census went up, but then whenever we looked, our census actually went down. And so we're getting conflicts, and we've not yet had a good, reasonable, except the theory of, well, we're supposed to have been raising this every year, and we just haven't for the last 10. So that right there is the one lady that I needed to talk to last Thursday wasn't in, and I did not get a call to her today, so I'll try and get hold of her. Brenda and I will actually keep working on it
I'll
to get a
make
little
motion.
better.
We
to-
table it then, and
Table it
until
till
we
next
have
meeting.
more information.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna table this one.
Hmm?
Have we gotten anything from them out of grants or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
What about the chamber? Have you gotten anything from the Boot Hill Regional?
No, no, I don't.
Okay.
For several years now, we've been paying attention with any services.
The only reason why I would really push on, well, say from the meeting I went to Thursday, was that at this meeting, some of the state allocation of money is decided at that meeting. And, 412 with the new gas tax, it got bumped down because the gas tax will help and that will move on the 412 project, so it was moved down. And in years past, that meeting there went by, each person got 3 votes, and they've, due to somebody, their discussion of, they brought 10 people for that meeting, and so they ended up with 30 votes for their special project. And this year they did change it toward the commissioners got to do their vote. And so this year it was a job up at New Madrid that was voted on and was accepted as the #1 for the Southeast Missouri Boot Hill region as the #1 project, especially with the gas tax going into effect. That will help with the 412 widening down, south of here. But it's still, I do believe tabling this till next time so we can get a little bit more information on why it went from 3,500 to 5,700, and our population at that point in time, as of last Thursday when we checked, it went down 800. So it can't be because the population changed.
What was the New Madrid project?
The bridge?
They have a new industrial project that I think that they had some funding for, but they didn't have for the ramps entering and
Yeah, one of the
exiting.
ramps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was supplemental to another project.
But there was also, it was a learning aspect for how to talk with someone while we're there, and how come like Poplar Bluff is a little ahead of the game on their 4 lanes south of Poplar Bluff versus us. And using proper terminology is always a good thing, and the word scoopable came up, a scoopable environmental impact study. I know Ron Hubbard, he kept making notes on what they needed to do, so, but yeah, again, let's find out why our bill is $5,700 instead of $3,500 and get an acceptable answer. So tabling it till next time is very good. Okay, mayor's report. We're gonna hit this one more time. Since the last city council meeting, I have signed 2 different statements on golf carts, side-by-sides, 4-wheelers on the roads. That I received a phone call yesterday from somebody in particular. Their phone came up as anonymous and they didn't leave their name and number, but she wanted to, she apologized for the comments being made on Facebook. I hadn't seen any of them because I'm not friends with the person that's doing them. But her daughter received a ticket for the golf cart. They were sitting at Sonic the other day. And I called up here to the police department, and they sent Officer Perkins. And his first statement to me was that, well, I'm going to give her a warning until I heard her name. And then it's like, because I was very opposed to side-by-sides, 4-wheelers, all that. We've been on the radio, we've been in the newspaper, we've been up here talking about get your city sticker, and it all comes out, it's, you know, you gotta have a sticker on the front left, on the back, you have to show where you got insurance on it, but the big thing is, you have to have a valid driver's license to drive these things. So this little girl ended up being 12 years old. And she had driven all the way from the Willoughby block area, high number block area, and and so it's a pretty good drive for a 12-year-old to be on the city streets in a golf cart. Out in the Watson Edition here a few months ago, there was a side-by-side that flipped over, which had an underage driver in it. So, you know, it's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt. So, having underage drivers on there, even though you may have your city sticker on there, that insurance is not going to cover your 12-year-old granddaughter or your 12-year-old child driving this. And this little girl gave the response to Officer Perkins is after he'd asked her if she'd been stopped and warned by Officer Brewer 2 weeks earlier, and she goes, yeah, I was. And Mom and Dad said it was okay, they just paid the ticket. Well, it's pretty obviously from Facebook that they're not happy paying the ticket. And so again, guys, if you guys want to see golf carts and side-by-sides go to the wayside, don't turn your people in. But I've signed 2 different statements over the last 2 weeks, because the other one was the day after the last council. I'm leaving my office, and there's 3 little kids in a side-by-side going right past my office on Pool Street there. They go up behind the barber shop, end up, I saw them because I turned up North Walnut, and I could see them at the end of North Walnut. So I followed them, caught up with them at Clipper, and came down College behind the middle school. And it ended up, the driver was a 13-year-old boy. None of them were in seatbelts. So it's still, we have 118 stickers have been given out. Those stickers are to go on the back and the front left of your side-by-side. That way if somebody pulls up behind you, they can see it on the back. If you're driving down the road, they can see it on the front left. But again, your insurance is going to cover your child driving it down the road if they're underage. don't care what insurance company you have, so, it's, you know, there's a few that are doing it, but again, last year, we did 189, city stickers for them. So even this is, you know, July, we're still, you know, we're at 60% of what it was last year. So I don't think that very many people sold their side-by-sides and left them out of town, they just didn't go buy their stickers yet, so. My recommendation would be, no more warnings, all side-by-sides, all golf carts. See somebody underage on there, take a picture of it, come up here, sign a statement of when and where. Even if you don't know who they are, our police department is pretty good, they know most of the kids, and they can figure out who it is. And, but otherwise, everyone that's got one of these golf carts or side-by-sides out there, they're a lot of fun to drive, but you're on the brink of losing that. So, but besides that, I'm gonna leave it there so we can get short. All right, public comment.
Just real quick, I want to thank the committee, the senior tax committee, for coming out last month and to talk to me and to have lunch and talk over some of the issues and everything. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. Every month I handed John Malott some information, some of the bids for the freezers, as well as the fencing, and asked him and the others to go over it and just kind of help us make a decision of what we need and everything. The committee's really going to help us going forward, and I'm really glad to see them working with us. I really appreciate it. And next week, anytime but Wednesday is wonderful for me. I'll feed you and everything. So thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Public comment? I know Mr. Vector is here. You want to come on up?
Mayor, council. Most of y'all know me. I see there's some new faces here. I'm Tim Nelson with Vector Disease Control, your mosquito control. I give y'all the monthly reports and stuff. And anyway, I could sit here for an hour and tell you how everything works. But I have my phone number. If you have any questions, please give me a call. I think Brenda can get it to you, or I had left my card out in the car. So feel free to call me if you have any constituent complaints or you need any information from me, or you just want to know information. I'll be happy to help you. Okay, so we know the mosquitoes, the counts, we're getting rains periodically, so the mosquito counts came up. And so we're not able to keep up with it with our larva siding, which we're continuing to do in our adult siding with our trucks, so we've been bringing in the aircraft. So this is the third round, I think Thursday, if I ain't mistaken, we ran it Thursday. So we'll continue to bring the aircraft in and run it as needed as we go here. Try to reduce these things. If we can get a little bit of break from the moisture, it's not so bad if you get a tiny bit of moisture at each time, or these scattered showers. When you get a good bit of moisture where it rains an inch or so, then you have quite a few hatch-offs. In addition, what's happened the last few years, and this year is a little stronger, we got Sirofra mixed in with our Anopheles, which our predominant species, as you know, is our Anopheles, which is the malaria mosquitoes, comes off rice and so on in the ditches. So we have these Sirofra joined in with them, which are fiery biting type mosquitoes, and they're a little bit larger, very fiery biters. So those are easier to kill though. So we're just going to have to continue to work at it. I'm giving y'all 100%. I'm having to do some of this work myself on driving now. I'm not supposed to have to do that, but for one reason, we had one of my longtime drivers of 12 or 13 years was spraying zone the other night, and somebody was about to run him off the road, and he backed up, and when he turned, he went into a very small ditch. It broke his neck. He's a quadriplegic right now. So they moved him to the hospital, and from that point they went to Memphis and to Regional 1. They did surgery on him all day, and now he is in Atlanta, and I talk to him every day, trying to help keep his spirits up. They have to help him with that, but as of yesterday, he said that he had slight movement in his elbow and his shoulder, so I'll keep my fingers crossed. You know, hate to lose somebody like that, and he's such a loyal employee, so it's hard, you know. So I've been over here spraying some, and of course Sabrina's got me going everywhere spraying, and we're trying to stay on top of it. We've got 3 new hires coming on. Of course, we got 2 to 3 weeks of training and things to make sure, and riding with them, make sure that that's all taken, that we take care of things properly. So if there's any constituent complaints or anything that maybe we're missing, I've been guilty. I know I was doing OCO and I missed a street down there. That was on me. So we have some new drivers, and it was brought to my attention earlier, said one guy, which I've had him over here numerous times spraying here, and he sprays Kennett mostly. He does very well. I got a new driver here, which I've rode with. We've missed a few streets, and we're backing up and punting and getting it, you know. So we'll keep working, giving it 100% working at it. And we did have an incident the other night where I have one real good driver that's driving here. 2 different times we've had a vehicle pull up beside her, or be waving her down, and actually pulled in front of her vehicle and blocked the road where she could not get around, and scared the living fire out of her. She's scared to death of it. We was told to call the police, but when we did, we were told that there was nothing we could do.
I talked with Assistant Chief Joe. She needs to come up here. I know she's got a picture of the vehicle and the
yes,
license plate, and file a complaint with an officer up here. So she's coming up to, well, you're doing it tonight, right? So she could come up tomorrow and fill out that form, and then they'll be able to.
You know, it's one thing, they can pull in front of me or get my attention. I have no problem stopping and talking to someone, but this lady is not the type of lady, she gets scared. You know, she does very good work for us, and she does us justice on her spraying and stuff, and tries to do her best, but it kind of scares her, things like that, you know. So, is there any questions you might have to ask me, especially?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
These New Jersey light traps that are put out,
Yes.
that says there's one put on Wheeler Drive.
I had to ask Sabrina where they got that, but we have several traps out in Kennett.
Okay, well, there's one that was put on Wheeler Drive, and it was put in the backyard of a house with nobody contacting them, letting them know this was put back there.
Unless they got the wrong house, we don't ever do that.
It was back there, I have pictures of it, and I think the police department has it now.
My
It was
New
his
Jersey
house.
light strap?
Yes,
it was
Well, when somebody called me about my.
there's no markings on it, all it said was Area 3. There's no other markings on it. It's about that tall, about that big around, silver.
Well, we won't put it there if nobody wants it there, but, I don't know where the mix-up's been, but we don't ever put a New Jersey light trap unless somebody told us we'd put it there. Now, the gravity traps, we will set them out in alleyways and different places in the bushes, and sometimes they get stolen and stuff. We're trying to, you know, protect the people and see if we have any disease-type mosquitoes to make sure we don't get anybody sick. We'll move them around and set them in the bushes back somewhere. You know, but the New Jersey light trap, you know, you plug in, so if we did something wrong there, I apologize, but that's a first. I can tell you, that's the very first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, because that's not even city limits.
Yeah, the cord was run around the house and plugged in the back of the house, and the thing was
There's
hanging in
some
the corner.
confusion somewhere, because then my girls that do that, there's a large side crew, and they also do that. They either honestly made a mistake, or somebody's told them they could do something they maybe they wasn't supposed to do.
Okay. Well, he was gone, and she was very nervous that somebody had been in her backyard and hung something she didn't know anything about.
Well, I mean, I'd like to know this address and stuff. I mean, something like that happens, the police department surely call me,
It's
you
my
know?
house.
Your house? Okay, so my girls didn't talk to you?
Man, talk to me one.
Well, I have to find out what's going on. I have no idea have you lived there?
I've lived there for 11 years.
Well, I can tell you, they put it in the wrong house yard. Maybe it's supposed to be somebody next to you or something.
Well, all I know is
Well,
all
I think
that
not gonna hurt anybody. If we burned up a little bit of electricity, it uses one little light bulb, you know, I apologize. Yeah, that's my trap.
Well, we've got it back here in squad.
But all it's doing is just giving us surveillance for mosquitoes. We'll find another place for it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a harmless little trap. It shouldn't hurt anything.
She's just more worried that somebody's in her backyard.
Yeah.
I was 5 hours away all week.
Well, it's young ladies, I can tell you, it's two college girls, young college girls, it's 20-year-old, they're not gonna hurt anything. They're good as they come.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good to see you.
All right,
Can I get that trip?
all right. Any other public comment?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Any update on the hospital?
Find out how that happened. I'm confused.
Oh, I doubt it.
Do we have an update on the hospital? I see Mr. Morris back there. Come on out. Good luck.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We are still moving forward. That's all I can tell you, as he cut his eyes back there. We had a long conversation with a group of people today that we're very excited about, and it won't take long.
Same group or a different group?
Different group.
So we're going from one group to another group?
We needed a co-signer, and that's what these people are gonna do.
Give us as much as you can.
Yeah. And we're excited. This was a great conversation. It took about 45 minutes. And they were even talking about moving money around and doing things like that. So that's all I can tell you at this point. It's moving forward.
As soon as you find out anything else, just let the
Oh, I
mayor.
will, I
Let the
promise.
mayor know. The time, the clock is clicking.
Well, we're going as fast as we can.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. All right, we need a closed session, so we need a motion to close and go into a closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
There we go. All right, 5-minute break.